Hello guys, and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 21. So as always, we're gonna have a look at what happened this week and what do we expect for the next one. As you can see here from the dollar, it was just a brutal week. We had some massive movements, very weak dollar, which resulted in a very strong euro, Aussie, NZD. So if you've been enjoying this content, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave me a like eventually if you find something valuable from this video. Make sure to check the link in the description, which I'm going to leave for you. I am offering a free course right now, so make sure to check it out to see all the details. Right now, it's charting time. Starting as always from the US dollar currency index, you can see 5 days of bearishness, and even the momentum is getting stronger and stronger. At market open, we just had a little bit of an indecision, like a pullback here for a lower high, perfectly retesting this daily level here. You can see break, perfect tap with this wick, and then massive explosion to the downside. So as I indicated from the last analysis, we were staying in this uptrend and price action was potentially at this trend line to have a push to the upside. I had some people telling me that the US dollar is going to get higher and higher because we're sitting at a daily trend line. But good, so everyone has his own opinions. I usually trade the shorter term, so I was expecting downside on the dollar, but you can see it really resulted in something very, very big. As for next week, I will be looking for pullbacks and have a look at the 4-hourly. You can perfectly see the perfect tap here just with this wick and a massive flush down. Then we broke this area here, massive break, little pullback for a lower high and massive continuation down. As for the next week, so it's really hard to draw a Fibonacci here. Probably this will be your point, but you see that price action is still not finding any support. So I will really wait to see that price action is finding a bottom and starts to retrace. Then I will drop my Fibonacci from this area and I will start looking for potential areas for a retest. So this is the last kind of a lower, very minor lower high. So price action can pull back to this area to grab some liquidity and continue down. Because usually after such strong trends, we get only 38.2 Fib retracements or even less than 50%. So I will be really looking to a shorter term retracement, just a little one, and then a continuation to the downside. So you see that price action is currently entering into a very strong demand area. You can see here with all of those taps, then we had this manipulation down, massive move to the upside, again another manipulation and massive up to the upside. So I will not be surprised if the US dollar starts pushing to the upside next week. So for now, I'm still bearish bias on the dollar and I will be waiting for any sort of pullback. Euro USD daily time frame, absolutely the opposite to the DXY. So we were observing here this very nice downtrend and price action was entering this trend line area where we expected a continuation down. But as you can see, the price broke above the trend line, retested it perfectly with this wick, and since then we've had massive upside momentum. So I will be looking for this daily area here. So I will drop down to the 4-hourly just to confirm that this is a strong area. Yep, we took shorts. I remember we were taking shorts in and around from this area. Price action reached it, found some sort of resistance here, but managed to break and continue with massive momentum to the upside. So as with the DXY, absolutely the same. I will be waiting for some sort of a pullback. This is a little trend line in here. So I will be waiting for price action to pull back at this area. We might have a Fibonacci. This will be the swing low. So let's expect price action to end somewhere around here. And we have the 50 and 61% pocket. Perfect for retracement, and this is what I will be looking for Euro USD. You can see price action is currently entering into a very strong kind of an area. You see resistance break, multiple taps for a retest, trial to continue down, but failure, break, retest again. So this is a very strong area of interaction. You can even just include a line. You can see perfectly tapping. So I really want to see some rejections here from this level, a pullback, and then we can start looking for trend continuations. Euro JPY daily time frame being a positively correlated pair to Euro USD, we see this massive momentum to the upside, continuation from the previous week's bullish momentum. So we identified that price action was getting into this very strong supply area, and we expected some kind of a pullback for a higher low at least to get into a long position. But price action just stalled a little bit at this area and massively pushed to the upside. I can see that we had a slight pullback here into this area, which will be seen on the 4-hourly. You can see how price broke here, retested on the 4-hourly and continued pushing up. So what are my expectations? Absolutely the same as EU. I will be waiting for some sort of retracement here to create a higher low. And as for Fibonacci level, I would probably use this kind of fib. Probably, as you can see, again, the zone 50 and 61.8% will be what I will be looking for. And have a look on the left, you can see that here price action is entering into a strong level as well. This one, as you can see here, pretty nice taps in this area. So this is a very nice liquidity spot, and you can see this wick tapped into the area. So I really think that EJ should return a little bit to create a higher low, and then we should be looking for longs with targets this level. Aussie USD daily time frame, we had some news on Aussie this week, and you can see massively pushing up with the weakness of the dollar. So we identified from the previous week that this price action was really struggling to break below this very massive demand area here. You can see at 0.67. And looking at price action, it looks right now very, very bullish with a new uptrend created. You can see with this trend line will be visible on the 4-hourly, perfectly creating higher highs and higher lows. So very bearish from the daily. I should just mark that price action will be potentially getting into a very strong area of resistance. And have a look at the 4-hourly. You can see this is a whole area here of interaction. So you can even make a big zone like this just to know that price action is reaching it, but I will keep to the top. So you can see perfect push to the upside, higher low, higher high, push to the downside for a higher low, kind of faked out here at this trend line, tried to push down with this bearish engulf, but then immediately massive bullish engulf, indicating a lot of buy pressure, and then we had this massive continuation. As for the next week, absolutely identical to all of the pairs analyzed up until now. I will be waiting for some sort of retracement. So first I will be looking for this, which corresponds perfectly with the 38.2, and later I will be looking for the pocket, which kind of gives us a little bit of a confluence looking at this little candle here. So this is an interaction, a pullback on the hourly for a new higher high. So this is potentially an area of interest to me as well. But for now, I will focus just to see price action starting to find resistance and starting to pull back, so I can really pull my fib and start expecting the pullback. But you can see all of the pairs are in a very massive push phase, so we should be waiting for corrections on all of them. Aussie JPY as well, guys, another pair that is pushing very strongly, although here we had 3 days of consolidation and wicks to the downside, which perfectly indicated to me that this was struggling to push to the downside and that we expect a nice push up. So currently price action is entering into this strong area here, being the lower high of this very massive push to the downside. But structure wise, you see push to the downside, pull back, and after you pull back, you expect a lower low. However, we did not have the lower low, and we had a higher low of this one. So just looking at the structure, this is very bullish. But however, entering into this very strong supply area, I would expect AJ to pull back a little bit. So you can see here how perfectly price action held at this support. And we had multiple opportunities to enter. We had 1 tap, 2 taps, and even 3 taps here with a bullish engulf. A lot of opportunities to enter. And you can see here, even this was kind of a flag formation. After this massive push, we had the correction and then an impulsive leg up. So this is currently starting to reject, and we can even draw a fib, something like this. And I would expect price action to give me a retracement in and around this zone. So this will be my preferred zone for a pullback. And this up until now looks like the clearest setup. So let's patiently wait and look to get long on this market. NZD/USD daily time frame, very interesting price action here as well. So you see price created a higher low formation here and massively pushed to the upside, breaking all of those resistance levels. So this kind of area here, I will just include a quick level, will be the zone I will be looking for a retest on the 4 hourly. And you can see we should really mark here this area. Price action still has a lot of space to the upside to test this. This is, I believe, about 100 pips or 80 pips. So we have to be patient. But I think that after this very strong push to the upside, price should start rejecting and should return down to this level I drew on the daily time frame. So another setup looking very good for next week. Probably let's see what this level corresponds to. 38.2 probably. Yep, this is a very brief pullback, but as I told you, price usually pulls back to 38.2 after a massive impulsive leg. So let's patiently wait. Let's observe price action, and if we see some rejections from this level, I will be very interested to go long. And just a little tip for you guys, make sure to monitor all of the pairs and the DXY as well, because they're all positively correlated. And if the one starts finding support and starts pushing, the other one usually tends to follow. And as well, the DXY should be in opposite correlation to them. So if you haven't watched my video on correlation, make sure to check it out now. NZD/JPY, absolutely the same as NU. So currently this price action is entering into a very strong supply area after this massive push to the upside. Similar to AJ, consolidating for 3 days, and then we had 2 days of bullishness. So on this one, again, I will be looking for a pullback in and around these areas here, because I think this is a perfect area for the market to retest. Something like this, and this is probably 50% or 61.8 pocket. Yep, you can see perfectly 50%, and in and around those areas, I will be looking for a pullback. So I will delete this big zone, and I will just focus on price action pulling back into this area, keeping in mind that the daily time frame is very bullish and I will be looking for longs only. USD Swiss, you see a massive flush here. I expected this since a very long time, and finally we've been breaking below this daily trend line after tapping into the major resistance area. So you see here we had some indecision again, bullish push to grab some liquidity from the major area here where price is rejecting, and then we had this bearish engulf which triggered all of the sell orders down. So what I will be having a look at, I will just mark some quick levels here from the daily to break down the chart easily when I switch down to the 4 hourly. So this is a very key level that I think price action should come back to retest. But having a look at it right now, it seems like price action is already creating a lower high. So I will patiently wait for price action to pull back to this area first. And if it breaks and it doesn't show me any signs of rejections, I will be waiting for price to pull back at this area. So this is roughly 50% of this whole move, and I don't even think this is 38.2. Yep, 38.2 is higher than this one. So we have to be very careful monitoring this market, because after this massive push, as I told you, we usually get just a little slowdown. This is caused by some retail traders or even big players taking some of their profits, so you observe a market slowdown, but then immediately momentum kicks in and pushes the market back down, making it harder for traders to enter, because we as retail traders, we always wait for perfect pullbacks, while the banks can just slap their positions and continue to push the market down. So this is what I would be looking for next week. First of all, I need to see price action start to reject here and start to pull back. As I see right now, price is entering this zone. So I would really love to see price action pull back a little bit before I take a short opportunity on USD Swiss. USD/JPY daily time frame, this was a tricky chart this week. I really wanted to go short, but I just didn't get the signal. And let's break down this chart right now. So you saw after this massive bullish push, we had the correction, perfect ABC for a new leg up. So after seeing this leg up, I immediately tell myself, okay, I am bullish bias for this pair, and I perfectly draw my fib level expecting the pullback. So why this price went here and then reverse? Well, we had a massive supply area here, and the thing I wanted to see is a tap of 109. So I think price missed to tap 109 by just a few pips. I'm going to check how much now. Yeah, you see 5 and 6 pips. So I really wanted to short the market at 109 after seeing it tap and pierce through. But you can see that this is a whole area here of resistance, and price action just started to go down. So let's see what I will be waiting for this price action to do. You can see we're starting the pullback right now, very corrective, very indecisive price action on UJ. That's why I didn't enter. So I really want to see some sort of a pullback here in order for me to get a safer stop loss above this structure. And then I will be looking to short the market to the 50% or to those areas here. Having in mind that on the daily time frame, we are bullish and we will be expecting a leg up. So this trend line can help us identify where we want price action to retrace, and you can see it's perfectly at the 50%. So this is my breakdown on UJ. Shorter term, I want to go short, but when I see price action approach those areas, I will start looking for longs and close my positions if I get into any shorts this week. USD CAD was the only trade, the only pair I traded this week. So I got on a short in and around these areas, and I will show you how I managed the trade. So let's first analyze this pair. So you see we had an ascending trend line here, but price action was failing to break above those areas and create a new higher high. So I identified that. And I was very short biased on this one. Then we had the break of the trend line. Then we had the gap up, retest of the trend line, and then the massive push down. So for next week, I am definitely short biased on UCAD. And my trade was taken from here, from this area. I will not go into details on how I entered. It was on the 30 minutes, I believe. There was a perfect formation here, 1, 2, 3. That's where I entered. And this bad boy then had massive news the other day. So the other day I scaled in my position here. And when price action pushed to the downside, so let me show you. I think I entered here. Then price action pushed down and I secured at break even or something like this. And then it stopped me out at break even, and my other trade was gone as well. So I got a break even trade, 2 break even trades on UCAD this week. And then it continued to push down exactly to where I expected this price to go. You can see perfectly starting to resist here to find support. And I missed this very nice trade, but do I care? No, because my analysis played out, and that is what is important for me. So perfectly dropping some key levels, I will be looking for a retest of this zone because I really think UCAD needs some bigger retracement after this very strong push. We had a perfect retracement here, a lot of hours worth of rejection, push to the downside, another one, push back down, another one, and then the massive explosion. So when you see this kind of corrective price action, you know that something is happening. Usually after descending corrective price action, you have a push to the upside, but this is not the case. If you follow price action and the overall trend, you will not mistake the bias. So the unfortunate thing here was the news that spiked to the upside, gathered some liquidity, stopped out traders like me, and then continued to push to the downside. So this is what I will be looking for UCAD, a perfect pullback here, a new lower high, something like this, and then to short the market down. Probably as for targets, I can immediately see that price is currently tapping into a very strong area, and longer term we can look even for the lows here at 1.30 down there. But the first thing I want to achieve is 1.3500 because we are very close to 1.31, and I really think that price action will have a final push to tap this level, and we should see what happens from there. As for now, as I told you, perfect retest here at this zone or just a lower high in and around those areas here. Let's have a quick look at what is happening with the GBP pair. So here we have Euro GBP after this massive decline here from those highs, after we retested this daily level. Perfectly seen on the 4-hourly break, retest, massive 1, 2, 3, and continuation to the downside. So we had 2 days of pullbacks. I tried to get on a short here, but I really don't like to trade GBPs currently, because with all of that is happening with Brexit, and I just avoid them. And even the GBP, what is happening with the UK is affecting heavily the euro. So you can see Euro GBP keeps flushing to the downside, while Euro USD was pushing so strongly up, and this does not affect the correlation pretty well. So make sure to be very cautious, especially with GBP. So as for this pair, I am not trading GBPs for now. I will just analyze it. Perfect pullback here, 2 times, double top, and right now we see this continuation up. I would really love to see this price action continue a little bit more to break below those wicks to confirm that this is a lower low. Looking at the left, we have some structure to work with. This is a very major area here. Probably 85 will be the price level I will be watching, and you can see here the multiple taps we're having. So going back at our price action, we still have a lot of space to 0.85. So I want to see this as a lower low, and then I will be waiting for some kind of a lower high at those weak areas that got broken. So this is how I break this chart down. A little more of a push to the downside, and then I will look for the pullback here to get on a short, and we have 130 pips to capitalize on. So very interesting opportunity. And let's have a quick look at GBP USD. So this is very massive. With the weakness of the dollar, you see this is pushing up, as all of the USDs are, and with some Brexit optimism, we had even a stronger GBP. So really nothing to look at this pair, guys. Just a quick level here that got broken and retested, so we're really not interested in this one, because you see it was already broken and retested. So we should be looking for some shorter term levels to work with. This price action is very overextended, and you see how price starts to lose volume. So I would love to take a counter trend on this one if we have a break of the trend line, and probably ride it down to some major area, probably 26,500, because this is this level here that got retested, but still I count this as a major level. So let's see what happens. Currently no trades for GBP USD. Let's see how much time price action stays above this trend line, and if we have a break, then we can look for double top formations and a reversal to the downside. But as we already mentioned, Euro GBP, we expect it to push a little bit down, so this should push a little bit up, and then we should start looking for the retracement on GU, which will help Euro GBP retrace as well. Here we have gold's daily time frame, a very difficult pair, actually commodity, to analyze. So here you can see this descending trend line perfectly having 1, 2, 3 taps, and you can see the overall trend is up of this commodity. So I will just mark the major zones where price is reacting. So this level I will mark right now is a major one. So let's carefully monitor what is happening here. You see price is already finding support here, a lot of consolidation and a lot of difficulties to enter on a trade. So you can see then price action kind of broke below here, created a lower high, tried to push to the downside, but is still failing to break below this level. So currently I would look at this market as a consolidating, just short term, because you really can't figure out what is happening. It is declining, although the trend is up. We had this trial to push to the downside, but immediately responded and pushed to the upside for the top 3 of the trend line. Decline again, break of previous lows, and currently looking like it's consolidating. So if you want, draw your consolidation and wait for breaks and retest for short bias, and absolutely the opposite for the upside. But if you want to trade this to the upside, make sure you get first this area broken plus the trend line, and then look for retest and continuations up with targets all the 2 taps here. So that is gold. Let's see what happens in this consolidation. For those that stayed up until now, I have a little surprise for you. I will start breaking down NAS100 and US30. So on NAS100, you can see the overall trend is up, but currently we're struggling to break above those highs here. So looking at the daily time frame, we saw this perfect hammer formation, indecision, and a bearish engulf. So this is very bearish to me. And dropping down to the 4-hourly time frame, I can see a perfect reversal formation. So this will be the area I will be monitoring. Price already threw a wick here, and will be looking for shorts on this. However, I will keep in mind that this is a bullish trend, so I will just include this fib and probably be cautious when price action arrives at, let's mark this as a level. And we should know that this is the 50% level, and this is a very strong zone, as you can see on the left, multiple taps. So for next week, I will wait for some kind of a pullback here in and around these areas, and then I will watch to short the market. So US30 is absolutely the same. Looking at the daily time frame, 2 days of consolidation and a massive bearish engulf the last day. So here again, we had this area that got broken, and which I will be looking for a retest. And this is my highest point here, my structural high, that I will not allow price action to break, because if it breaks, then it means that this wants to continue up. Again, guys, here we have a fib as well. I do this just to search for prices to take profit. We have the 38.2 perfectly matching with this wick here, and with some support and resistance on the left. So make sure you include it, but this level is the major one I will be monitoring. So you can see it yourself, 26,545.6 will be the level I will be monitoring, and you see on the left it is respective massively. So let's see if we get the pullback and a nice opportunity down. So this is how I'm going to wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for staying up until now. So make sure to check out the free course, link is in the description. Let me know what you want to see more from me, what videos would you like me to publish. I will be creating an educational video, actually part 2 of creating the trading plan tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned and turn on those notification bells. As for me, thank you and see you next time.